Alright, so you've spent your whole life being absolutely obsessed with rap music and the culture of hip hop, but recently you've had an itching suspicion that you don't want to just listen to it or catch the vibes of rap. You've started to hear a little voice in your mind that tells you, maybe I actually want to make music myself. You may not be fully sure, but you've started searching online for an answer to find out how to become a rapper for beginners. And good news is you've come to the right place. I made my first dollar from rap over 15 years ago, and ever since have been traveling the world as a rapper to over 15 countries, had multiple six-figure years in income just from rapping, and most importantly have spent nearly a decade coaching rappers just like yourself on how to become a rapper on this, YouTube's most subscribed channel for learning how to rap. So with this in mind, sit back and relax as we explain in 3 simple steps how to become a rapper for beginners. Now, before we begin, if after learning these key steps on how to become a rapper, you want to implement the lessons in a step-by-step, easy-to-follow format, click the first link in the video description to have an opportunity to learn how to earn a 6-figure career from rapping like I did, and even start your own record label in just 30 minutes a day by taking part in our Rap Tycoon 6-week rap career course. Your first step is being sure you have everything you need to make music as a rapper, what we call making materials. Before you even start writing rap regularly, you should already be very clear on what tools you're going to use to write raps over and over again, so that when it comes to creating a lot of music to keep the streets fed in later steps, you can release product quickly and efficiently with little to no stress on your part. In order to make this easy for you, we're going to provide 3 questions you need to answer in order to make sure you have all of the potential making materials you'll need to know how to become a rapper as a beginner. What are you going to write with? Where are you going to record your raps? And who is going to mix your music? Let's quickly break these down so that you know how to answer each one easily. First, you'll need to determine the easiest writing workflow for yourself as a rapper. In the 21st century, often the easiest way to do this is writing your rhymes in your phone's notes app so that it automatically saves every time and you can come back to it. But if you want to go old school with it, you can of course handwrite the rhymes on an actual notepad or whatever. To this day, that's how legends like Eminem do it. You've also probably heard many stories of artists such as Lil Wayne, Big Sean, Jay-Z, Jadakiss, and so on, never writing anything down and just recording in the booth from their mind. That's a great option. However, remember that these rappers often got good at that because they had engineers on deck. Lil Wayne, for example, mastered this because he was already lightweight famous by his teenage years and had engineers ready to go. So with that said, take 3 to 5 seconds to decide your writing format. Pause the video if you have to, take 3 to 5 seconds. Alright, once you've done that, it's time to decide on your recording materials. The second step is to decide where you're going to record your raps regularly. Obviously, if you're going the home studio route, you can also convert the skills you learned from recording yourself at home into the ability to have more control in a professional studio once you get there. That's not a small point either. I taught myself how to record and mix at home before I ever stepped into a professional mic booth, and by the time I was being paid $100,000 a year to rap on the road and record in studios that artists like Rihanna and Jason Derulo used, I already knew exactly what to tell the engineer to do in order to get the sound I wanted. So don't feel bad if you're starting from a home studio or even just a basic USB mic plugged right into your computer with a free recording app. That might just be the jumping off point to you growing the knowledge to record like the pros. Now, if you are going to record from home and basically teach yourself how to record, the easiest and cheapest way is to do this. Buy a USB mic. This can be as cheap as $30 to $50 and it plugs right into your computer. Record in a quiet room. That can be as simple as finding the smallest room in your house or even a closet and trying to have the floors be carpeted or having a rug on them so there isn't a lot of ambient noise bouncing off the walls to mess up the vocal, and use free recording software. Audacity is the simplest and easiest to use free software to record. You can alternatively just use Fruity Loops Trial Edition, which is an industry standard level recording software. However, you won't be able to save your work if you use Fruity Loops free trial, so you have to put out whatever you do in one sitting. Now, as you'll want higher and higher recording quality, you'll need to invest a bit more into the mic, the sound insulation of the room, and the recording software. But honestly, if you can afford a $300 mic, properly insulate your room, and can afford Pro Tools or Fruity Loops to record yourself, both of which have monthly memberships for under $100, then you already have enough quality equipment to record an industry-level album. Notably, the Migos recorded much of their early work using a setup in a house closet that could not have been worth more than like $1,000. Not saying you have to like the Migos music or whatever, but that's just an example of how you don't need a year's worth of salary in order to get an industry-popping level of recording equipment to get a buzz. A lot of the magic is in the mixing, so take 3 to 5 seconds to decide where you're going to record your music. Pause the video if you have to. But of course, if you plan to record at a studio yourself, then your mixing duties and mic setup should be handled by a professional. The important thing to note here is that if you rely on a studio for your recording duties, you'll have to factor in personal budgeting and time set aside in order to get there. That can be surprisingly difficult if you have a full-time job or you go to school full-time. Now, in our 6-week course, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we actually interview a professional engineer on how to mix your tracks and what sounds to look out for. So again, click the video description if you want more in-depth coaching on that. But the important thing to remember is that the engineer is like a human computer. And what I mean by that is that they are there to do whatever you tell them to do or record however you like. So you should be familiar with the basic properties of mixing, how you want your voice to sound, and so on. The engineer is not the same as a producer or an A&R who will help you craft your sound creatively, and they'll engage in creative discussions. Some engineers will do this if you ask, but mostly they're there to make you sound how you want to sound, so you need to know what you want to do before getting there, which ties into step number 2, create your song schedule. A song schedule is a catchy phrase we've created to describe planning out how often you're actually going to create new songs. It's important to think in terms of songs and not just raps, because if you actually want to become a real rapper and not just do little rhymes to impress your friends, you'll need to know how to craft songs and not just bars. It's like the difference between being able to make a full movie and shoot a short skit for YouTube or TikTok. While of course there are channels and comedians who make a lot of dough on YouTube or TikTok doing little skits, those people are not filmmakers and would struggle to put together a full-length movie or television series like Stranger Things or Game of Thrones. Or of course movies like the Marvel franchise. The vast majority of successful directors are skilled and seasoned enough to make full-length movies and shows and songs and albums or something like that. The main difference is, and this is to your benefit, you can make a lot more songs than people can make movies or shows. Therefore, you can get a lot more practice each week to become skilled at songwriting and rapping. With that all said, I'm going to suggest that you start with 2 songs a week. In other words, now that you have your making materials together from step 1, at least twice a week, I want you to have a full song completed using the recording equipment you've already put down. If this seems like a lot, it's okay, but understand that rap has been estimated to be a $10+ billion industry, and every household name rapper records more than 2 songs a week on average, even if they don't release it. So if you want to compete with the big boys, you'll have to get used to recording at that level and even more. Now, not to worry, if you aren't used to writing that much, I'll provide 2 free video courses for you here. First, the top 20 songwriting secrets of professional rappers, where I'll describe techniques to improve your songwriting skills and make songwriting faster so you put out more product. You can get that by the second link in the video description, and how to write a rap on any topic in 20 minutes or less, which will help you break through any writer's block or help you when you're struggling with what to rap about when you sit down, which you can get in the third link in the video description. With that said, take 3 to 5 seconds to write down how many songs you'll write per week. At least get 2 down. And step number 3 is get a promotion plan. A promotion plan is yet again another catchy phrase to make it easy to remember that you need to have a plan on how you're going to promote your music once you've made it and it's recorded. Currently, the most successful apps to promote music are TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. I would suggest studying the best techniques on promotion for each individual one, but the most important thing to understand here is each social media app has its own algorithm and its own visual and audio style that you must promote to individually, and not just copy and paste your promotion strategies to each one. In other words, if you think that you're going to blow up on Twitter by simply copy and pasting TikTok videos and thinking the Twitter algorithm will push that forward, you're sorely mistaken. Or alternatively, if you think that a photo first or reels first platform like Instagram wants you to simply repost long form music videos on it, that's likely not gonna work unless they're like a viral clickbaity style where you're doing crazy stuff in a video. Therefore, what you really wanna do is consider a plan that works in the platform you're using's favor, following the normal progression of account development and success, and then cross promote your content from other platforms once you have a solid fan base. A really good example of this is Lil Nas X's rise to stardom. No matter what you feel about him and his music, his promotion plan to get in the game was brilliant. Most people don't know that Lil Nas X originally had a major Nicki Minaj stan account on Twitter with tens of thousands of followers, where he would mostly just crack jokes and one-liners about Nicki Minaj and related rap topics, but wouldn't just promote his music. He maintained this account for several years before getting into the music game, so that by the time he was ready to promote songs like Old Town Road, he already had a large fan base to leverage because he had won the Twitter game by promoting in a format that was unique to Twitter. He didn't just create a music promotion page called Lil Nas X and talk about his new tracks all day. He built a fan base using the Twitter format and then flipped the script marketing-wise, which helped blow him up. Therefore, as you work on your promotion plan, really consider unique ways that you can leverage each social media platform to take advantage of its individual brand of algorithm and user base. Now, we've given you a lot to think about here regarding how to become a rapper. We told you gather your making materials, decide what, where, and who with you will record and write. We told you create a song schedule, make at least 2 songs a week to start and gradually build up even more, and then get a promotion plan. Create a plan to promote the music you're making, leveraging each social media platform's unique marketing tactics. If you want more in-depth coaching and advice, remember we have that 6-week rap career course where you only need 30 minutes a day of time to start building your career, and we have free video courses on songwriting and lyric correction, all of which are in the video description. I appreciate your time. I've been your host, the big homie Drew, for How to Rap. See you on the next one.